Hello and welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad that you are here. Today we are talking about Sister Wives Season 17, Episode 7. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So the show starts out with Cody annoying me. Like immediately he's the first one to speak and I'm annoyed because he is driving to a wedding in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when he's talking, he is in Texas. And all I keep thinking is he cannot possibly be going on a road trip when he has just told Isabel he cannot ride with her to North Carolina.
And right now I'm driving through Texas and I'm just enjoying the peace.
So he's enjoying the peace, and I have a feeling that the rest of us watching this are just all annoyed. That is the word I'm going to use a lot when I talk about Cody. He's just annoying me that he's being so happy about this trip when I know what the previous episodes have been about. And listen to what Cody says about how he spends his time in the car and when he's driving.
I get deep in thought. I think about and I sort out a lot of my problems.
So Cody said it. He can solve his problems in the car. So what a great opportunity to work on his issues with Isabel. He could drive her to North Carolina and they could spend some one-on-one time together in the car, bond, reconnect, work on some of their issues before she moves on and sort of enters her young adult years. Cody said it. And I am just going to be really disappointed if in a few weeks or a couple months when the time comes for them to focus on Isabel moving on the show, we don't see Cody going with her. But based on what Christine already said, he got her a car and it's pretty set in stone that he's not going. And as a viewer, I'm not really surprised by Cody making the choices that he does, but I still think it really hurts his children.
Decided to come checking COVID numbers. There's only like 11,000 or less cases in the entire United States. So
I am glad that he mentioned that because I know viewers, including myself, were definitely going to say, what did he totally forget about COVID now? So I'm glad that he mentioned it. And it does look like during this episode, we're going to be talking about COVID again.
The travel choice is interesting to me and I realize it's important, but Cody and Robin still observe the very strict rules about COVID. And yet here's Cody traveling.
So is it possible that the rules for their home don't have anything to do with actually preventing COVID from getting to them, but more about keeping other people out? What do you guys think? I know what I think. I know what I think about this. And I think Janelle and Christine sort of have some feelings too. So let me know what you guys think about it. I found the next part to be super, I don't want to say funny, but kind of. Cody says something that I just don't think he always gets it. He is basically saying he doesn't understand Janelle's thinking because COVID isn't the issue. They weren't getting together before COVID. I think Janelle and Christine and Mary absolutely 100% know this family wasn't getting together before COVID. That's the issue. They see all of this COVID stuff as an excuse. But Cody's acting like he's smarter than them, and only he realizes that. So go ahead and listen to the clip.
family wasn't getting together before that, and the family isn't getting together now, not because of COVID. That's a gaslighting fallacy. That's Janelle just trying to put hot coals on my head. We're not getting together because the family doesn't want to.
Janelle's not doing anything. She already knows that they're not getting together because they don't want to. So does Christine, and I'm guessing so does Mary. So they're not doing anything to you, Cody. You're just now trying to twist the story around.
Just last week, we went to her niece's wedding. So these little things about me aren't really jiving.
As much as it pains me to say this, it is very possible that we're not seeing enough of the family to actually get the big picture. Is it possible that, they're just painting Cody as the villain and he really is spending more time with the wives now, and that, they're not spending time together because they just don't want to, and it has nothing to really do with him and the restrictions? What do you guys think? If you're wondering where the wives are, Cody says that he misses having one of them with him, but Robin was not able to come. She was supposed to, but she needed to stay home and take care of the kids. Now, in the past, Robin has said she finds spending so much time with Cody to be a little bit annoying, so maybe she took the opportunity to be like, go Cody, go away, because he's not going to stay at Mary's house. He doesn't want to stay in that camper, I'm guessing. So maybe she's like, go. But there's also the other side, and maybe she did have to stay home. And I have a huge issue with this. I've said this in other episodes. This is a massive family. 3 wives, multiple adult children, teen children. No one could watch those little kids, including her own children. No one can make it work. Like, this is crazy. So it's either just an excuse, which is what I think it sounds like, or once again, this family is proving that there's so much dysfunction that they can't call each other and help out and watch the kids. So there's some exciting news, you guys. Cody is not just a guest. He has a ministerial license in Oklahoma, and he is going to be officiating the wedding. Can you guys imagine that? I can't imagine Cody Brown as a guest at my wedding, let alone he would actually be the one leading the ceremony. So they have a confessional with Christine where she asked the questions that we're all asking at home.
Are you going to mask up while you're officiating? Are they going to have to follow Cody's rule? No, that's ridiculous. They're not going to have to follow Cody's rule.
No, I doubt they're going to have to follow Cody's rules, because if I was attending a wedding and I found out I needed to wipe my mail down almost 2 years after COVID had started, yeah, just not going to happen. People are not going to follow Cody's rules. I don't know what the rules are for people that are not in the family, but based on the list, I'm going to say that other people are not going to do them. So this whole scene and this whole beginning of the show ends with Robin saying that Cody has been really angry, and she hopes during this car ride and this trip, he's able to work on some of his issues. So we move from Cody traveling to the wedding to Christine telling Truly about the divorce and all of the things that came afterward. And Christine says that after the conversation, she had began to pack up some of the stuff, a few days later, not immediately, I'm guessing, but a few days later she was packing. And she noticed that Truly had also began to pack. Now, Christine says she doesn't feel like Truly is like 100% okay and that she is just a child. And I think Christine's right. Like, this is a process. This is not like you just snap out of it and everything's fine. This is going to be hard for Truly. But I did want to pull out some audio clips of Truly talking about how she felt. There was something I didn't expect, but I should have if I thought about it. But go ahead and listen to what Truly says.
But also the realization that everybody knew before me was it did kind of feel like a betrayal.
So if you remember back to the past episode, Christine said she decided to just tell Truly that she was already divorced, instead of saying like, we will be divorced, because they're not going to get there's no piece of paper coming. This is just a matter of saying they're divorced or not saying it. So she decided to tell Truly it had already happened, but I feel like this kind of backfired a little bit, and I feel bad for Christine and Truly, because I don't think that was Christine's intentions. I think she should have told Truly, I was talking to your siblings about maybe divorcing. I wasn't sure, but I've decided to. And so now I'm going to tell you. Where now I think Truly feels like she was just left out completely. So there are some scenes with Christine and Truly sitting on the bed talking, and then there are confessionals with each one of them individually. There's not a lot to say there. It's kind of what you expect, I guess, or at least what I expected from this situation. Truly's not super emotional right now, at least not in front of the cameras. And even though she's not emotional on camera, it doesn't mean she's not in her own space in her own time. She seems to be a very smart little girl who's trying to work through all the information she's been given and what's going to be happening in her life. She has a good mom, she has good siblings, she has an okayish dad. So I think she is going to have the support that she needs. I'm not going to spend too much time on this part. What I am going to do is move on to a clip of Cody talking about how Christine is talking to Truly and how he feels about those conversations.
She's marginalized me so much and our marriage so much that she's kind of leading Truly into blowing it off.
Christine isn't marginalizing the marriage. He did. He marginalized the marriage, and then that's what it became, and that's what it was. It did not seem significant or important. And Christine has said that so many times. She did not feel important to him. So this whole thing where Cody's trying to be the victim is just ridiculous. I don't think Cody has the ability to see it, though. Cody then tells us that he went over to speak with Truly after Christine had to break the news to her. And if you remember in the last episode, it was kind of accidental. She didn't mean for Truly to overhear a conversation she was having, but she did, and so then she kind of had to break all the news to her. So Cody comes over the next day to talk to her, and I just want you to listen to how he says the conversation went.
William said, how are you doing? She seemed to have dealt with it either very well, or I'm not a psychologist, I'm just a parent, but maybe she just buried it emotionally.
Based on what Cody's saying, you would think he went over to the house and really spent some time trying to talk with her and make sure she was doing okay, but listen to how Truly talks about the conversation.
I haven't really talked to Dad a lot about the divorce. He just basically told me, like, you found out about the divorce, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. And he was like, okay. So it never really went beyond that.
That is about the effort that I expected from Cody, and I believe truly. I think that's how the conversation went. And he said in a previous episode, Isabel won't talk to him. Are these the conversations he has with all his kids? If this is all he can say to her when she is hearing some life-altering news, I imagine the rest of the conversations are just pointless. I mean, the depth to that conversation is pretty much non-existent, so there's no way he was really interested in finding out how she was feeling, or he is just that clueless about human emotion and being able to relate to other people and communicate well. I don't know. But go ahead and listen to what he says next about Christine truly and moving.
Shocked in a way that she's not more devastated by the divorce than moving. I wish I could get him to stay. I don't understand, really. And Christine may have told me 10 times. I don't understand why she needs to move.
She told you why she wanted to move. I can confirm that. Other viewers can confirm that. We all know why she wants to move. And if I was really bored, I could probably go put together a whole montage of all the times Christine's talked about why she wanted to move just on the show. But as viewers, we all know. We all know why she wants to move. And we all know that Cody either didn't have his listening ears on, or he just doesn't want to hear it, or doesn't care to hear it. So we move on from this over to Cody headed to the wedding. He's got to his destination, and I just had to share this. I actually laughed when I seen it.
I'm struggling to not go blank.
He is on edge. Look at him. He is freaking out. His facial expression, it was funny. I didn't expect his face to pop up on the screen like that. But I can't help but think this wasn't a good time for Cody to go stand up in front of people and talk about marriage. And that's kind of what happened. He thought he would write the vows on the drive there, and that's what he's freaking out about. He's arrived there and he has nothing to say because in the entire car ride, he thought about his own divorce that is coming up. I guess I shouldn't say coming up. I should say he is already divorced because Christine sort of declared it done. But I guess Cody really likes doing this sort of stuff, and he liked leading church at home when they were having church at home in Vegas. So he enjoys this, though Christine points out that it must be difficult, being that his marriages aren't doing very well right now.
So how interesting that he's officiating a wedding when his own marriage has failed.
And she kind of points out it's not just this marriage that's failed, it is marriages that are also failing. Mary and him aren't in a good place, and Janelle and Cody, it's kind of weird. It's not a great place. Cody arrives at Brian's home and we finally get to meet him. Brian is super friendly and outgoing. He talks about how he's known Cody for 26 years, but in the beginning, he didn't know that Cody was a polygamist. He just sort of figured it out when he would realize the wives, they were different at each event. He has a great sense of humor. Brian laughed and said he does not care what Cody does. He just doesn't want to do it himself. But as we're kind of going through this scene, they're flipping between people. So we're seeing Cody, he's stressed out. He doesn't have the wedding vows written. Brian talking about their friendship, and they seem to, I want to say Cody and Brian seem to get along really well. And then Janelle talking about how Cody's questioning if he is the right person to do this because his feelings about marriage right now aren't very good. He's questioning if he has the ability to actually give good advice or say anything good up there. And as a viewer, I'm questioning this, all of it too. Is Cody Brown really the person you want speaking at your wedding? I'm wondering, Christine's theory is he's going to be able to give advice because his marriages are failing, so he can look back and say what he should have done. I'm wondering if it's getting married and having Elvis lead your wedding, going to Vegas and having Elvis do it, and then you're I had Cody Brown lead my wedding. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. I know they're friends, and I can only assume the friendship is what's playing a role in this decision. So if you're wondering if Cody is able to pull this off and he does well at the wedding, I'm going to show you just a little clip. He does, in fact, manage to pull it off.
Are you nervous? A little bit. You should be. I am.
So they look like they're all having fun. I mean, Brian, his wife Judith is smiling, Cody's smiling. I think if they were going for something less formal and less traditional, then they got it with Cody. Cody does say this, and I definitely have a response, so go ahead and listen to what Cody says.
I am still shocked that Brian and Judith wanted me to do it.
Us too, Cody. Us too. So Cody may have some bad feelings about marriage right now, but what made him feel better about Judith and Brian was that Judith was really happy to take Brian's last name, and so he felt they had traditional values, and he was willing to support this marriage. So, of course, Cody always goes back to that. Cody has a lot of ideas of what he thinks marriage should be, but then when it comes time to play those out, I just don't think he is able to do it, at least not for 4 wives. But he goes ahead and he's at the wedding, and it looks like he's having a great time, and they look really happy. Cody dances while he's there, and I'll let you see a few seconds of it just so you can be haunted as well. So there you have it. If you're watching now, you can see some of Cody's very fancy footwork. We move from Cody over to Christine, where she wants to discuss some of the issues she has with Cody's decision to travel to this wedding.
Who he is and the choices that he's making, I cannot respect this man.
So leading up to this confessional with Christine, she explained that Janelle's children already knew that Cody was going to the wedding, and Janelle's children told Gwendolyn and Isabel. She says that Gwendolyn was really upset and Isabel was devastated, like heartbroken. So Gwendolyn was angry and Isabel was heartbroken. If you cannot watch this whole episode, this is the part of the show. It's sort of be like, go start at like minute 20 or something, like around 20, 21 minutes. Christine and Cody are kind of going back and forth. Now they're just showing them in confessionals, but you see Christine is so frustrated and so mad that he does not get it. And Cody just says she's looking for reasons to leave this marriage. Like this isn't, like this wasn't that big of a deal. She's turning it into more than it is because she wants to leave. He also points out that it was in the past. I actually said it earlier. Like, I think there's about 9 months between this. It was when COVID was worse, and that he would need to be gone for 6 weeks to have been there for her during the surgery, where this is only 4 days. I can see Cody's point, but I don't think Cody realizes how much it hurt Isabel, that he didn't go, and how much Christine really needed him. Like, this was serious. This was his family, and now he's driving for a wedding, and he's not driving to go take her to North Carolina. So they go back and forth, and they're just like 1 or 2 lines in a confessional of each of them going back and forth, and you can see that there's starting to be some serious anger that I don't think was there just a few episodes ago. It's sort of building as time is going on.
You think you're going to go officiate your friend's wedding and not take care of your own family?
Cody needs to understand he may not feel like that, but that is how Christine and Isabel feel, and probably how some of the other members of the family feel about him not attending the surgery but going to the wedding.
He is trying to excuse herself by making me some kind of villain.
I wish Cody was able to really hold himself accountable for the way he treats people or has neglected people, because he really has. We all remember when he was accused of abandoning Christine and that offended him. He needs to think about that a little bit more.
Lack of love between us was for a reason.
Whatever the reason is, it really doesn't matter. It was a dysfunctional, unhealthy relationship. Christine needed more, and she has the right to go. Cody should accept a little bit of responsibility, even if he doesn't want to, and, let this anger go as well as let Christine go. So we go from these really tense confessionals with Christine and Cody over to Janelle and her fifth wheel trailer. And I'm going to try to make sure I call it a fifth wheel trailer, not an RV, because I've been corrected in the comments. But they are in way over their heads. Gabe is there trying to help. Gabe and Cody are kind of snapping at each other. It's clear things are not good between them. Janelle is admitting that they have gotten in way over their head. It starts to become clear that this fifth wheel trailer might have not been the best idea.
We really don't know what we're doing here. We sort of know, but we have no real idea.
So they are struggling to adjust the fifth wheel trailer. I guess it's not level. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to try to guess, but it does look like they're having a hard time. Gabriel is trying to help. Cody and him are snapping at each other, and you know what, guys? Gabe might be an adult, technically, but he is still very young. He is still Cody's child. And they have a confessional where Gabe talks about his relationship with Cody, and he says that his dad is literally putting no effort in having a relationship with him. And it is sad. It is sad. It's not a big part of this episode, but it is to me, it was just really sad to watch. I'm one of those people that I look to at facial expressions just to see how people, see if someone's about to cry, see what their expression is with their words. This kid is sad. He is so sad that him and his dad don't have a better relationship. So they go over to showing Christine talking about the whole situation with the RV out on the property. And she says that she gets to see Janelle all the time because Janelle is just 1 mile away from her home. Janelle comes over for coffee and comes over to do her laundry. So Christine seems to really love their closeness right now.
Oh my gosh, so I see her all the time.
I can't help but throw this in here. Robin is having the opposite experience. She likes to go sit out on the property and just look at it and imagine what life will be like when she's out there. But listen to what she says.
Every time I was out there, Janelle was gone. If I would have ran into her, I would have said hi and talked to her, but yeah, it was weird.
Sounds like she's having coffee over at Christine's house. You should drive by there and stop in and spend some time with them. You all have children by the same man. You were all sister wives together not that long ago, so why don't you go see them? Just don't think it's going to happen. This whole part of the show that continues out there with the trailer, the fifth wheel trailer, and out on the property continues. Robin talks about how she really wants to be out there. Christine talks about how she wanted to be there in the beginning, but as time went on, it became clear to her that she didn't want to live on a property and have to watch Cody have good relationships with other women, the other wives, while she was having a bad relationship. Janelle is clearly out there, but Mary, I think, probably actually says one of the smartest things. And she's like, there's the financial issue, but to be honest, there's family issues that need to be worked on first. Who wants to go out there and build a house next to these people? Who wants to build a house on this property and look over and just see your ex driving up and down the driveway if you guys separate? Like, you need to be sure you're in a good place before you build on this property. We move from the fifth wheel trailer issue over to Christine trying to figure out what she is going to do with her house.
I don't know what to do about my house. And I just want to get Cody's opinion on what to do about it.
So here is Christine's idea. Gwendolyn wants to stay there and finish college. Christine thought Gwendolyn could rent it as well as like two other people, but they would close off I'm assuming the upstairs of the house, and they could save that for her and Truly to come visit. So they would like lock it, but when she comes to town, they could use that upstairs part, like two separate apartments. So there would be some money coming in and Christine would have a place to stay. Cody, though, on the other hand, they do talk about the idea of selling it, but Cody wants the money to go to pay off Coyote Pass so they could own it and Janelle could start to build. Christine is not a fan of that idea. I think we can understand why. Christine points out that she has been paying the mortgage payments. But Cody's response is that Christine could not finance the house herself and that Robin and him had to do it. And I don't know why, but it annoyed the crap out of me that he said that. A huge obstacle for these women is that they're out there on their own. They're not married. They don't have two incomes. Like, is he actually using that against her? Like, we had to help you. Yeah, Cody, that's your wife. She was buying a home for herself and the children. You had to help her. I don't know. I'm getting real worked up over it, but Christine is definitely aware that this doesn't make sense and she is not on board.
Think if I'm going to sell my house, I'm going to keep the proceeds from selling my house and put it towards the next house that I purchase. So if I sell, I'm not going to put that money into Coyote Pass.
So here's the thing. I was so annoyed clearly about his comment where he said that him and Robin made the down payment on the house, so they should get that money back. I know that Christine is smart and level-headed, and she is going to look out for herself and for Truly, and I hope she does not give into this in any way. Cody and Christine continue to talk, and they begin talking about the move and custody. Cody is just super adamant that they need to get attorneys and establish custody in Arizona. And I am floored by this, even when he started talking about it, because it seems like they would want to stay out of the court system. They're not married. Just let Christine go with Truly, work out when she's coming and going, and then you won't have the child support issue. But I think some of the comments are right. I think he is so worried about child support that he's trying to demand 50-50. I think that's what this is about. And in the beginning, I really didn't. I didn't think Cody was too caught up on that, but he is paranoid about the court system working against him.
to do this. And there is this thing in the manosphere where it says if you're getting divorced, you're going to get screwed, bro.
You're not really getting divorced, Cody, so you don't really have to worry so much about it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a real legal divorce, so the court system doesn't necessarily have to be involved, so none of that has to happen.
I would love it not getting a lawyer involved. But if he's already going there and lawyering up, then I'm going to as well.
I am 100% with Christine on her decision to get an attorney. I think Cody is hoping that he will go get one and she'll just comply, but Christine needs to look out for herself. Cody doesn't trust her. She should not trust him. He has shown himself to be someone that you shouldn't trust, right? He often makes choices that she doesn't agree with. So I think Christine is doing the right thing. I have all kinds of faith in her. She has been so awesome the past 2-3 years. She's always been awesome, but like, she is upped it when it comes to being independent and looking out for herself. So I look forward to the next episode. If you haven't already, go ahead and click like and subscribe. And as always, leave a comment. I love reading all the comments and getting all the different opinions. And come back to Happily Ever Reality if you want to hear more about your favorite reality TV shows.